Resolution 2012-105, resolution authorizing the establishment of a municipal election date advisory committee.
What committee did this come from?
This didn't come from a committee.
I thought we said we wouldn't do resolutions unless they came from a committee.
I don't know. I don't necessarily recall that. I think for trustees to bring something to the board, it should go through their respective committees. But I don't think.
But who requested this? That's what.
Sorry.
You want this?
Yeah. This was a resolution that I added, and this is to establish a committee to study what day the election should be, whether it should be in May or whether it should be in November.
I have a comment. This is like, it's like beating a dead horse that's in the grave and already decomposing. I mean, we have gone over this over and over and over again. I think we had a straw vote. Why don't we just take a vote on the election date? I don't see why we need a committee for this. Makes no sense to me.
And to put a finer point on that, we discussed at the last meeting having an ordinance on first reading at this meeting, and I asked the status of that, and I was told, fill out the form, and it will be put on the agenda. I filled out the form. It's not on the agenda. So I don't know what happened to that. It didn't get put on the agenda. I have a copy of the ordinance, and I'd be happy to introduce that ordinance on first reading if my colleagues would prefer.
What you can do is make a motion to introduce it on first reading for the next meeting, but I don't think you can bring an ordinance to the board that quickly. And just to clarify, I mean, a side note, when you submit agenda item requests, those are requests, and every 2 weeks. The village clerk and the administrator and I sit down and we create the agenda, and not everything makes it on the agenda, and that was one of those that didn't. If you'd like to move that tonight under new business for the next meeting, you're certainly free to do so.
Again, I rewatched the video today, and I was explicit. We brought this up at the last meeting, and I asked, what's the status of this? And I was told, fill out the form, and we'll put it on the agenda. Because Deborah, as I recall, you asked Alex to put it on the agenda. He said he wasn't going to do it. So I said I would fill out the form, which I did, and it did not. And I have got no. I don't understand, why do we have a process to put things on the agenda when things go into a black hole? If we request something to be on the agenda and there's no time for it or whatever, we should be notified, or we should have a discussion about it. It shouldn't just be vetoed. That's why we have a board. We have a democracy here. We have 7 people that get a say. And if you don't like something, you can vote against it. That's your prerogative. But to just simply not put something on the agenda